but long bone has something called the diaphysis, which is this long shaft, right? It's sort of like the hallway of a house. And this is going to be made of compact bone because we need it to be very strong and rigid to bear the weight of the body. And then you've got something called the epiphysis. So just like in a house, you have a hallway that widens and becomes a bedroom, for example. That's what happens here. The diaphysis is this narrow portion and it widens to become an epiphysis. And we're going to have the proximal, and we also have another one, which is the distal epiphysis. So we've got two on either end. So here's your hallway. You've got a bedroom here, and then you've got maybe a living room on the other end of the hallway. So the interesting thing about this, or the distinction here, is the epiphysis is made of spongy bone, right? Compact bone was the diaphysis, and spongy bone is what you find in the epiphysis, because this is where growth occurs. And this is where you're going to find red bone marrow, and hematopoiesis will occur also. Now, the next portion is the metaphysis. This is what I consider the meeting point. And so it's a nice way to remember metaphysis, because M for metaphysis and M for meeting point. This is where the diaphysis and epiphysis sort of connect together. Think of it like in a house, you could think of it like, a staircase connecting floors, or maybe like a short corridor. It just is a transition point or transition zone. Now, each epiphysis meets the diaphysis at the metaphysis. Say that 10 times, it's quite a mouthful. But here we have a narrow area that's called the epiphyseal plate. Now, you might be like, wait a minute, you just lined epiphyseal line, not plate. You're quite correct. Let me explain. The epiphyseal plate is actually a growth plate, and that's what you're going to see in children, because this is where growth occurs. The epiphyseal plate is a layer of hyaline cartilage, which is transparent, and you're going to see that very prominently in any x-ray you see of a child whose bones are still growing. However, when a child approaches the 18, 21 years of age, that's when bones stop growing. And the cartilage then is replaced by osseous tissue. And then this epiphyseal plate becomes an epiphyseal line. Hence the distinction there. All right, then we've got the medullary cavity, which is like the basement of the house, right? Where you store things. So the medullary cavity is a hollow space inside the diaphysis. And here we have yellow bone marrow that is stored.